In our discussion of the ergonomics of photographic documentation, we introduced the concept of ritualizing a process to the point of it becoming reproducible habit that occurs automatically, even without thinking. This ritualization process is actually one of the great secrets to really developing a very robust record-keeping system in your office. I'm going to demonstrate how to use this ritualization process in the filling out of the diagnostic form. This aligns with our whole how to train people and yourself professionally. You develop consistent processes in everything you do. And part of the way of doing that is to ritualize the process of these consistent processes. This really comes from James Clear's Atomic Habits book, which I recommend everyone read because it can really help you develop really effective habits in your life. He says the more you ritualize the beginning of a process, the more likely it becomes that you can slip into a state of deep focus that is required to do great things. This is so true. And if you learn how to ritualize things, it will really help you. So I'm going to show you how to ritualize the process of filling out the diagnostic form. And this is confirmed by Gawande's book on practices that use a checkoff list, make far fewer errors, are actually much more efficient, less wasted time, fewer careless errors. So let's look at the diagnosis page with that perspective. After performing our standard soft tissue exam and multi-tooth testing, Joy places the patient up and turns the chair so the patient can see my monitor. Then I always say the exact same thing, which is part of the ritualization process, doing it the same way each time. Mrs. Jones, please excuse me while I fill out your record while this information is still fresh in my mind. Then I place my mouse at the top of the form and methodically go down the first column, one field at a time, checking off what applies. The patient observes this as I go down the first column, then the second column, until all data is recorded. It is rare when a patient is not clearly impressed by this process, and they can see and understand how you have a systematic process, are careful and methodical, and are unlikely to overlook minor details, which may be important. It also displays to the patient that you are not in a rush, that you are very unlikely to make careless errors. Do not underestimate the effect this ritualization process has on patients. I have seen its effect on thousands of patients. All the tools we have in TDO to really refine how you do this. So when the form comes up, I have the Canon driver loaded. I have the acquire page open. And whenever I click on a form, it comes to the top, which makes it very nice. We go to the diagnosis page, and I can bring up the multi-tooth testing if I wanted. It's right there. Then I'll start in the column on the left and go down one field at a time, very systematically, very ordered. And when I'm doing this, often I'll bring up the pop-up radiograph, and then put it right next to the column, so I have it. And I have a lot of tools within that pop-up form. For example, I can measure things if I need to on the fly, and the patient can see that I'm measuring. I can undo. I can use the magnifier as I'm filling out the form. I can invert the picture if that is helpful in making my radiographic evaluation. I can undo. I can save as a new file. I can draw arrows on it while I'm actually filling out the form. So there's a lot of functionality with the X-ray pop-up form. And I basically go right through the form, column by column, one at a time. This only takes a couple of minutes after you get practiced at it. It doesn't take that long. This was a fairly complex case it had treatments, retreatments, surgeries done, and all of that has been filled out on the form. Joy fills that out when I'm taking a history of the treatment, and a lot of the soft tissue exam and oral cancer screening, mouth opening, is filled out during the multi-tooth testing and clinical exam. If I want to take a picture, sometimes I'll want to take a picture. I'm able to do that on the fly. For example, taking a picture of the swelling. So these forms are up while the diagnostic form is up. And as you click on these pictures, they come to the front, which makes the desktop very functional. So as you get practiced at this, you'll have to do this 15 or 20 times, and then you'll be surprised at how easy and efficient it is. And then when you click on the completed, it makes a note for you automatically. And there's the note that was made when you clicked on the completed form, which is very useful when AI goes to make your final report note. It will access this note for you. So you don't have to go back and look at what was done. The AI final report will draw upon this form.